Hi, I'm Robert Newman. Hopefully you know that by now because this is the fourth in a series of videos on real estate SEO. This particular segment is about link building or sending signals to content that you've already created. It is a very large piece of real estate search engine optimization, and it's important to mention that this entire video is specific to the real estate industry. So if you're not in real estate, you might want to find yourself another video on link building. If you are in real estate, you are extremely lucky that you found this particular video. I'm going to make it easy for you to get onto the first page of Google using what is called Whitehat, or very legitimate tactics to get links back to your site. Now, the first and foremost thing that I want to emphasize is I'm not going to go through 100 different ways to build links. I'm going to go through three or four, but 3 or 4. And in most cases, that's all you need. Okay, so let's talk about link building for a second to make sure that you, my viewer, actually understand what it is. In case some of my viewers have skipped my other segments, I do, as I do with many of these real estate SEO videos, I'm just going to prove my bona fides. In other words, one of my least favorite things on the internet is that you oftentimes have people talking about things that they themselves haven't done. So what they do is they go out and they learn a topic. They make claims like, oh, I have 100 clients that are doing really well using this strategy, but they can't actually show you anything that they've done themselves specifically that uses the strategies that they're teaching you about and then claim that they work, especially in the real estate space. So what we're looking at right here is inbound REM, inbound real estate marketing is what that stands for. It's my company, and this is a record of my blog. This is literally the blog section of my blog. I have done 8 blog posts this year, and only 2 of them are so recent that they're not getting ranked. So actually, all the statistics I'm going to show you is really based on 6 blog posts. That's it. All right, so for 6 blog posts, I have created 22,000 unique visits with 33,000 page views and 25,000, that doesn't matter. So since like January of 2017, and just so that you know that these the keywords that I'm targeting are real estate related. They're all real estate. They are for the marketing part, and you probably are a realtor or broker, so it's a little bit different. And the difference is that the terms that I'm competing for are probably far more competitive than yours. So, like, I'm number 4 for real estate slogans. I'm number 2 for Zirple, which is a real estate lead generation platform. I'm number 2 for real estate memes. I'm number 2 for place to reviews. I'm number 5 for real estate hashtags. I don't know why I can't rank for real estate quotes, but anyway, I'm number 16. That's not very good. That's on the second page. I'm number 4 for inbound real estate. And you can keep going down and down and down. I've got quite a few first page results, or I wouldn't have 6,000 or 7,000 unique visits coming into my site. The impressive thing about these numbers, which most of you won't realize, but I've done them in 6 months. And most of the time with Google, it takes 6 months to start seeing results. So I'm going to teach you some of the tricks that I use in terms of building links, and everything that I'm teaching you today is what is referred to as Whitehat. In other words, I'm doing my best to live within the guidelines of Google and make sure that my own website and your websites too will not get penalized if you follow my advice. Now, this is advice or tutorial that I'm giving you in 2017. Google does change their rules. So if you're watching this years after I've made the video, you might want to check the current rules. But my intention is to teach you something that's going to be usable forever and not violate Google's rules. Okay, so first and foremost, let's talk about what signals are. Okay, so let's make the assumption that you have built a very good page of information for your website. Now, I'm using a page that I used in another segment of this real estate SEO tutorial. This is a page that me and my team built, and you can see I've already covered in another section how to build the page and why you're building the page, but this is different. So now the page is there. And unfortunately, one of those things that a lot of people miss, but if you're watching this video, you have not missed, it's that it's not enough to make the very best page that exists on a topic. I wish that it was. Google tries to infer or say that it is enough, but it's not. You have to build the page, and then what you need to do is you need to send, I call them signals, but you need to build the credibility of this page in Google's eyes specifically. I'm only talking about Google. So how do you do that, and what do I mean by that? So to get into that, we're going to take a look at the actual keyword that I'm targeting on this page. Now it's really easy to understand because the very first bit of the title is obviously a keyword target. I cover all of that in my first section of my real estate SEO tutorial, so if you're starting to get lost in this tutorial, you unfortunately need to back up and need to watch the first few hours of these that I did so that you're on the same page. But this tool, which I'm using throughout all of my tutorials, Ahrefs, is sending us a very clear signal. It's saying you'll need backlinks from 2 websites to rank in the top 10 for this keyword. All right. So a lot of people don't understand what a backlink is, but I'm going to refer to backlinks as signals because actually Google requires a few different signals be sent to a page. Or requires is not a great term, but they give extra credibility to a page that has signals sent to it, and there are a few different types of signals that you can send. Hope that makes sense. All right, so I scoot down here after I've input this keyword. Now we see, you know, the people that are currently ranked. These are the top 10 results as of August 5th, 2017 for this keyword. And over here, you see numbers that don't make any sense. You see DR, domain authority, URL authority, and then you start seeing, again, the language backlinks, domains. All right. So now we start to get a little bit deeper into this. Our tool is telling us that we need 1 or 2 of these to get onto the first page. I'm going to teach you to look at a couple different things, and I already have in other videos. I'm just actually doing a recap. So domain authority is, roughly speaking, how authoritative the entire domain is. The score is 0 to 100. 0 is the worst, 100 is the best. The URL, which is the only thing that matters when you're doing page-by-page SEO, which is almost all that you'll be doing as a real estate agent, is also 0 to 100. Okay? The signals that Google uses to develop these scores is related to a lot of things, but we're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it down to 2 separate types of signals: social signals and backlink signals. Backlinks are when other websites, so other people that own websites, basically vote for your website. How do they vote for your website? I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so these are, so let's just do this. So this right here, this Realtor.com, was the external backlink that we saw. Okay, it took me a moment to find it. It was actually a very long page. Okay, so this is one of the backlinks, and these big websites like Realtor.com get a lot of these what are called data aggregators that send in links to their site. The funny thing is that this is WeBio, and there is a lot of confusion between Chevy Chase the actor and Chevy Chase the homes. So it was a little bit of a muddy example, and I apologize for that, but nonetheless, hopefully you've gotten the understanding that a backlink is a website that has placed the website address of another website into its own pages. And depending on the strength of the page that has that website address, it increases the value of the page that it's pointed to. All right? So what I'm going to teach you is how to get those, okay, these links over here. Remember, I'm only going to give you 3, but also remember that one of the top, that most keywords, like this is one of the wealthiest cities in the U.S., and Chevy Chase, Maryland is a very competitive real estate market. And yet, Chevy Chase real estate, which is a top tier real estate keyword phrase, has a 1. If you use the advice that I give you, build the page content, you're probably going to get onto the first page. Just doing 3 links to your website. And that will be the case in 95% of all searches. And those of you that fall into the very rare markets that have something way more competitive, and I'm showing you one right now like Beverly Hills real estate. All right, this is one of the more competitive terms in all of the US and for real estate. And so you have to have 18, and my little tutorial on how to get 3 is not going to do you very much good. The good news, though, is that if you're in a city like this is part of Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, and it's a super competitive keyword term. So is Austin, Texas real estate, as an example. So people that live in very large, very wealthy cities are, if they're going for the broader terms, honestly, you need to figure, like, you either need to take some advanced courses on link building, or you need to probably hire an SEO professional. There aren't very many that know what they're doing, but the good news is you probably don't have to hire them. And let me explain that. So I just did Beverly Hills a couple of different times. Another way to go would be the Wilshire Corridor, condos for sale. Oh shoot, I misspelled it. Okay. And why is this relevant? Because if you know this area, the Wilshire Corridor doesn't have a condominium that's for sale on it for any less than a few million. So this is a luxury real estate search. It's perfectly viable. There are 80 to 150 people doing the search. That's the people that live here in the city. And everything on this corridor is there is no such thing as low end on the real estate. And the same thing goes for the Sunset Strip. So when you start talking about bigger cities, all you need to do is work on your targets. You'll find something like this, and again, my tutorial will work just fine. You can't expect that you're going to watch a few hours of videos and then be able to rank for major terms like Los Angeles real estate or Austin real estate or whatever. It's just that is a very high expectation. So let's get into what we can do, though, which is rank you for 95% of everything else very easily. So first things first, social signals. This is an example of social signals. Most people, myself included, are of the belief that social is a very low impact on anything that Google looks at, if not negligible. However, here's been what my experience has been with social, is that while I don't believe that it impacts ranking per se or directly, I do feel like, so imagine that there's a logical sequence of events. I strongly believe that for the most part, and actually I don't need to believe this, the studies that tons of people, including Ahrefs, have done say that most of the time it takes anywhere from 180 days to a year to get onto the first page or get to be #1 for a search term. Now, you already saw my results, and I'm obviously far ahead of that in a much shorter span of time. To me, it would be logical that if you are going to be Google or anybody else, that one of the ways to identify how relevant, prevalent, or popular an article would be to look at social. Now, you're not going to necessarily, I don't think that Google makes ranking decisions based on social. I do, however, think they make ranking speed decisions based on social. And so what I mean by that is that if you have a lot of social signals coming into a page, I think it's far more likely that as long as you have a couple of other signals and that your content is really good, I think that you will rank very, very fast. And that social is one of those key elements to wildly drop your results time down. So how do you get these social signals? You either have a pre-established social audience, or you can pay social platforms and get stuff like on Facebook shared a lot of times with links sent back to the content. Or you can go on to Fiverr and find people that will share your social content with their large audiences that they already have pre-established. So there's 3 separate ways to do social, and again, some of the stuff that I'm doing in this tutorial is very high level. In other words, I'm not giving you step-by-step directions. I will be doing that probably with other types of contents like Udemy tutorials. I'll actually show you me going out and doing it. I just showed you one of the results that I had. Here's another one. This is stumble upon. And this is a client article. And it's 6 likes and 1 stumbles. It's not very much, but it's something. And stumble upon is a content sharing site. So any signals being sent to someplace by certain content sharing sites is somewhat of a big deal. But the important thing is this. You have to do it with multiple platforms. In other words, again, this is based on my experimentation, but having some signals sent from like Google plus Facebook and Twitter are my standard 3 usually means that your content will be ranked much faster. Now, that's my entire dialogue about social. The next thing, and again, if I had to guess, like in terms of does it actually impact ranking at all, if I was going to say it impacted it, maybe 5%. So you're really looking at a tactic that is mostly used to get your stuff looked at faster. Like get it looked at, get it measured versus other content of the same type much, much quicker. Now to the meat of this particular tutorial. So real estate specifically in terms of building backlinks, one of the things that Google looks at, and I'm kind of just cutting through a lot of garbage for you guys, is Google looks at what niche a link is coming from. Now, there's a lot of lifestyle stuff that is valuable for real estate. However, if you just want to be really certain, you don't want to mess around with a whole bunch of link building, I've discovered that links that come from other real estate related sites actually work very well for real estate. So in other words, you like other realtors linking to you might do very good, would be one example. One of the literally the linchpins of my success, and I'm gonna try to make it a linchpin of yours too, is actually ActiveRain. ActiveRain is a real estate blogging site, so there's nothing but realtors on here, and they blog. And every time you write a blog post, so there's ActiveRain has 2 memberships. It has free and one that's $199. So if you become kind of like an ActiveRain community member, you've spent $199 for a year. Now, if you do that, ActiveRain allows your posts to be 1, visible to the public, and 2, do pass those. You can create links off your blog posts. So then your objective is as follows. You want to write a really good post. Okay. It doesn't have to be that long, but it does have to be relevant. I keep mine to 300 to 500 words at a maximum, which does not take me very long, but I try to make sure that they're super engaging, and so the way that I am doing my blog posts for link building on ActiveRain is I'm sending a link to the topic that I just, like, I will launch a blog on my primary website, like this one, and then I write a support blog on ActiveRain. Okay, so in here I've got 2 links. I've got my inbound REM YouTube channel, and I have my website, and this is a link. However, here's the beautiful part. These ActiveRain links, which really don't take that long to create, and it doesn't create that, for me, it doesn't take that long to create something valuable for other realtors. But the value of these content pages is incredible. So you look at what my top referring content is, like just look down my top referring content, and you're going to see very, very fast that ActiveRain, 50% ActiveRain, literally ActiveRain, 50% of my high value links, and look at the value of the links. So it's a 13, it's a 12. So these are super valuable signals that I'm building on ActiveRain, and I'm passing that to my website, oftentimes with just a single link from ActiveRain sent to the right blog post. I will rank just from that, but we're going to give you a couple more, and for you it will work the same. Many of your stuff that's saying, hey, you need 1 link to get onto the first page, if you've written your content correctly the way that I told you to do it the last time, and you create a backlink from ActiveRain, that in many cases is going to be all that you need to rank the post on your primary blog. But let's do some more. So it's a website that accepts most articles from real estate agents. It's called RealtyTimes. It's a great way to get backlinks. You can create a membership here. You can submit an article. It'll go into a section called Advice from Agents, and you can just see that, I mean, just on August 5th alone, there's 4 articles. So there's a lot of articles that get submitted here. And whether the links are follow or do not follow, it doesn't really matter. They're good links, so do RealtyTimes. So that's number 2. Number 3 is, so we've been looking at Chevy Chase as our example. So another way to get a good link to your site, they're very low quality, but honestly, again, I just want to emphasize, most of the time, if you've done your keyword research right and you've followed every other piece of advice I've given you, you don't need too many links coming into a page. As a matter of fact, oftentimes too many hurts you. So you really want to stick with like a simple formula that's going to work most of the time, and it will turn your content marketing into a major money-making machine if you just follow that formula and don't make yourself crazy trying to learn all the ins and outs of what is actually a very vast topic. So here's the last one. You just Google a city or a town. You may have to do this a couple times. But you're just looking for blogs that allow, oh look, there was one already on ActiveRain. Alright, so we go here. And all we're looking for is articles that allow comments. You can, again, as long as you're doing this legitimately, like you don't want to go to India or something, but you can actually find a virtual assistant for like $5 an hour, and you can have them run through these blog posts, and all they're doing is they're looking for something they can comment on, and you'll find them. I mean, I may not have found it this first couple of times, but then again, I would hire a virtual assistant to do this, and I promise you, somewhere on here, we're gonna find a blog that's gonna allow for a comment, and see, that certainly infers, yeah, there we go. So if they accept the comment, which it should be thoughtful, you should read the article in question, and then you can just put in your name, your email, your website, and the comment. And especially if you're a local real estate agent yourself and you're commenting on their real estate blog, believe it or not, that's valuable to them too. So you're really not, like, that's the way that Google works. If you provide value, you get value. So you leave something that's thoughtful, like I love this festival, it's brilliant. Some of the time they'll leave your website address in here, some of the times they'll take it out. So if you are going to do like a comment strategy, you may want to do 2 or 3 of these, but about 1 out of every 3 or 1 out of every 4, somebody is actually going to accept the comment. They're going to create a link back to your post, and believe it or not, this entire thing, if you automated it, if you turn it into a process, it doesn't take very long. An hour for every post that you do. And last but not least, I'm going to give you a form. There's many different ways to do this, but this form right here is actually an incredibly high value architecture form. And for those of you that practice real estate in a place that has any type of notable architecture, and we have so much here in Los Angeles, it's not even worth talking about. But you can either put a couple images in here, or you can comment on images, and they all get accepted, and they all count as backlinks back to a post. But this one is a little bit, it can be a little bit trickier. It's just an additional one, but it is very high value. So if you do get a referral from here, it's probably going to be a great referral. So those are your ways to get links back to a site. Like I said, it's not very complicated. So we've covered social. We've covered actually 4 different ways to get links. There's many more. Now here's the funny thing. If you don't like, or you need more advice on link building, guess what? ActiveRain has tons of realtors that talk about various ways to get links back to their site. So for whatever reason, this post, my tutorial, doesn't fill your needs, or you're one of those people I keep saying, hey, if you have an advanced need, you can come here to ActiveRain. This particular agent is talking about doing guest blogging sites that are going to accept a piece of content from you and then allow you to install a link inside it. Now, a long time ago, Matt Cutts talked about this and said that it wasn't a great idea. In my experience, as long as you're writing great content on relevant sites and then referring them back to your site, there isn't anything spammy or against Google's rules. But do anything, cut any corners, create spammy content, create spammy comments, and of course you run the risk of getting penalized. That's, in my experience with SEO, that's true across the board. It's kind of like you can use tactics and be trying to provide value for yourself and other people that own websites, or you cannot. You can just be trying to cut corners and create value only for yourself. And if you're doing the latter, eventually Google's going to figure out a way to penalize you. My opinion is that even if you use one or two gray things, things that may not be totally clear about what is or isn't inside the guidelines, as long as you've made amazing content, you are legitimately trying to help yourself and others on the web, you probably will avoid most penalties. That's how I operate as an SEO. I just do my best to do good across the web. I know I don't succeed all the time, but I think I do most of the time. My results certainly seem to indicate that that my content has been well received. It's been received far faster than almost anything even I've seen in terms of other people trying to rank pages. And I've now started to apply the same tactics to my clients' pages, and I've seen results there too. Anyway, thank you for joining me for my link building or signal section of my real estate SEO tutorials. As always, you can leave comments below, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. Have a great day.